Hello friends.
Hello.
Hi, Apasali.
साइंस सूत्र होती है
ഞാനും വരില്ല. മാം இல்லைங்களா?
Proceed. Okay.
Hello.
Start பண்ணலாம் சார்.
Sir, shall we start now, sir? Record ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டீங்களா? Welcome the challengers look for the opportunities in their situations to learn and grow in wisdom. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a moment of great privilege and honor for me to extend a hearty welcome to all of you today in this webinar. I would like to welcome our Honorable Secretary Injaji Rajasekharan sir and respected Director Dr. G. Balakrishnan sir for their encouragement and inspirations in each and every events, moments and development of our institution. It's my honor to introduce and welcome our prolific resource person, Anjan Bangi, Director of National Council of Teacher Scientists India, affiliated organization of WIPNAT, Vinayaga Prasad Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India, and also serving under Directorate of Secondary Education, Government of Tripura, India. He was awarded with the Teacher Innovation Award in 2019 by Sri Aramidho Society, Puducherry, and also the National Best Science Teacher Award in 2018 by Raman Science and Technology Foundation, affiliated with WIPNET, Vigna Prasad, DST Government of India, and awarded with certificate the UN World Environment Day Hero 2019 by VNEP. He is serving as Honorable Board Director in unit in Tripura and National Council of Teacher Scientists India, APJ Abdul Kalam National Council of Young Scientists, and Indian Raman Science and Technology Foundation India, All Indian Ramanuja Max Club, and Indian Baham National Research Academy India. He is also the resource person and life member of Indian Science Congress Association, Kolkata, and Indian Science Writer Association, New Delhi, Asian Media Information and Communication Center, Singapore. Sir is also a career served as a prominent journalist and reporter, and also the founder president of Science Writers Association of Tripura, National Council of Teachers Scientists. He is the coordinator of Indian International Sarabi Student Science Award. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Institute International Science Cartoon Award and Sir J.C. Bose International Science and Max Puppetry Film Festival Award. Awarded 2020 program also. We are very eager to hear your thought-provoking speech, sir. We welcome you, sir. I would like to offer my great full welcome to our registrar ma'am who has arranged this webinar session. We welcome you, ma'am. I would like to welcome our participants, all institution principals, students, and other faculty members who are all joined in this session. Once again, I welcome you all. Welcome you, sir, for this.
Shall I start, ma'am?
மேம் மியூட்ல இருந்து ரிமூவ் பண்ணுங்க மேம்.
Sir, share your presentation, sir?
Yeah, sure. It's my privilege to here with you all. It's an auspicious day also today. This is the International Literacy Day. So with this message,
आवाज नहीं आ रहा सर. हेलो.
yes. The screen is shared. Hello.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
The screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Yes sir.
So it's a great privilege to me that to address the August gathering here under the guidance and organization of Indira Ganeshan Institute, Tiruchirappalli. Today is the auspicious day where total world is celebrating the International Literacy Day, and also it's a big event when everybody is talking about the India's unique policy, that is National Educational Policy. So myself, I am elaborating that topic today on the perspective. If we judge the perspective, then today is the day we are also celebrating an unsuccessful mission, but which motivated us a lot. That is ISRO's Chandrayaan. When it failed also, that is also become a historical moment when our Prime Minister Modi ji hugged our senior scientist of ISRO chairman Dr. K. Sivan and tell that failure is also a step of success. And in such a way, trial and error method, science also going forward towards its achievements. Today we also can remind the yesterday's event, that yesterday there was a major event of analyzing the national education policy, which has been defined in such a way on the 74th Independence Day celebration by our Prime Minister Modi ji, that education has a vital role in building a self-reliant, modern, new and prosperous India. That is why we have come up with a new education policy. Yesterday, President Ramnath Kovind also addressed the Governor Conference on the role of national education policy in transforming the education system, where all the governors of each and every state, lieutenant governors of UTs, Prime Minister, Union Education Minister, and also, I must have to say, Professor K. Kasturi Ranganji, who is the, I have to say, Shilpi of this education policy also there. And in this perspective, it's my privilege to highlight my subject also today under the guidance of Ganeshan Institute, Indira Ganeshan Institutions, evolve of science education and communication in India. I would like to start with the message and definition of education which is given by Swami Vivekananda. Education is the manifestation of perfection already in man. So what about the education? I am going to a story, the mythology of India, the Indian mythology, which are the available also. It says that before the human being, the God itself given birth of education. In Vishnu Puran, after a big bang, I have to say it as a big bang, Lord Vishnu originated, and from him Lord Shiva and Brahmaji originated. And after this system process, Lord Brahma once upon a time he thought that he have to establish the total universe where human beings also have to be. But as per his plan, when he moved forward and generated some Bal Rishis to establish the human race, to give birth of human race, from his arms divinely generated 4 Bal Rishis, Shanak, Sanat, Sanandan, Sanat Kumar. But due to their naughtiness, it is not happened accordingly, and they failed to fulfill the task given by Brahmaji. So that is the trial and error method. One we can relate with the scientific way, in the scientific way, that Brahmaji failed to establish the human race. So again he thought,
Sir, mute ஆயிடுச்சு sir.
Sir, unmute your mic, sir.
Sir, unmute பண்ணுங்க sir mic.
has been now I am hearing audible.
Barik sir, you are not audible.
Yeah.
सर आपका वॉइस नहीं
Now it is okay.
Okay sir, okay.
हाँ now ओके सर.
Okay.
Okay sir.
So we are here that after the trial and error method of Lord Brahma, He failed to generate from the Valrishis the total universe, and he moved forward. He think that we have to be with education. First, he want to generate the education system, and accordingly from his arms he established the gurus, acharyas from his arm, Vaishishta, Kritu, Pulaha, Pulasta, and from his heart he generated Angira, and from his ear he generated Atri, and from tongue Marich. So all of them are it was a Saptarshi Mandal known as Saptarshi Mandal, the Ursha major, where all the rishis are there. They are the prime and foremost gurus in the education system of our India as per the mythology concerned. After that he established from his own divinity the humanity and two human beings which has been depicted as a Manu and Shatrupa, and in such a way after education he built the total human being and human race. So if we go through the science education in our epics also, we find that each and every time education comes first. If we consult with the if we think in the perspective of Mahabharata, it is a tremendous thing that education comes first, then the event. What is the depiction of Mahabharata? Maharishi Vedvas detailed the throughout each and every system of and happenings of Mahabharata before it happens, and that has been wrote by Lord Ganesha. So education every time in our mythologically, if I think that come first before the human being or even any event. As far as it is concerned with Mahabharata, Dronacharya and the relationship of Arjuna is the vital point in education system, and accordingly Government of India also acknowledging that relationship and offering such a brilliant awards in their name, Arjuna and Dronacharya award. In this era also, though military training is the prime focus, but life skill and the education system, especially science education system, also has been elaborately handled all the gurus. Dronacharya always giving the mathematical knowledge, because without this pointing the bird's eye by Arjuna, it's not even possible. So geometrical knowledge and mathematical knowledge is the prime focus even in those days in Mahabharata. Though the policy maker, if we go through the policy, the education policy at that time was completely in the favor of the rulers, because no gurus are allowed to train other than the Rajkumars or ruler family belongers. That is the main prime focus of that education policy. So whatever the science education or military education, that is only for the selected community only. Education is the prime thing even for the life process also, because we found that in Mahabharata, marriage is also depend on the success of the education or their merit, which has been proven when Arjuna established his seniority, superiority over all the present gathering and own the opportunity of marriage with Draupadi. So that is the evolve of science education and science communication in Indian system. But as per the concern, the science education system forwarded with the Gurukul and Vedic system. Benefits of the science education: the main interest of imparting education in is to turn out people able to appreciate and enjoy the beauty and wonder of the nature. They should be efficient in all work of life and should take delight in the wealth of culture of past generation and civilization. Hence, science should form an essential part of curriculum, as it is only subject which afford knowledge of certain facts and laws and helps achieving the main object of education. Science almost revolutionizes human life and provide indispensable for existing of man. Science instills a sense of intrigue and enables students to develop understanding and form question based both on the knowledge they already have and the insight they wish to gain in the future. Students who excel in science lessons are likely to develop a strong ability to think critically. Benefits of science education: science almost revolutionized human life and proves indispensable for existence of man. Science instills a sense of intrigue and enables students to develop understanding and form question based both on the knowledge they already have and insight they wish to gain in future. Students who excel in science lessons are likely to develop a strong ability in critical thinking also. If we go through the science education to be placed in school curriculum, there are so many criteria. Observational value: science provides unique training in observation and reasoning. Science students reason from definitely facts and from clear concepts. It makes one systematic and enable him or her to form a objective judgment. Guidance value: the discoveries have added to the prosperity of human race with vast increase of knowledge. Science learning is incomparably more useful for our guidance in life. Scientific value: Professor H.R. Armstrong says that science is taught to provide training in knowledge of scientific method which is useful in the life pursuits. Hence, science possesses scientific values also. It has cultural value also. Science has cultural value. It has literature of its own, scientific discoveries of Galileo, Newton, Faraday, Raman, Shah, Bose, Armstrong, and other area treasures of mankind. So science has owned the first rank in humanitic studies also. There is a judgmental value: knowledge of method of observation and experiment in the different branches of science help people to develop a logical mind also, and critical judgment and capacity for methodological organization also. Disciplinary value: science is found to be the most valuable element in the education of those who show special aptitude. Intellectual value, which is the prime focus also in nowadays. Modern knowledge of science provides great intellectual pleasure. An educated person is under very great disadvantage if he is not familiar with that knowledge. If we go through the Gurukul system is the world's first system of education, even in science education also. If we go through the syllabus and curriculum of the Gurukul system, we found that all the things, all the segments, all the parts, chapters, whatever is essential has been studied at that time also, such as flight, navigation, space science, environment, study, lunar study, weather forecast, battery, solar energy, day-night study, space research, astronomy, geography, time, geology and mining, gems, metals, gravity, light, communication, water vessels, arms and animation, which has been focused so much with its own value, zoology, botany and material science also. In Vedic system, the syllabus was completely in fusion method: commerce, agriculture, animal husbandry, bird keeping, animal training. So many parts of the life skills are fused with the educational system, and it is completely activity based also. So that is the prime thing of Gurukul system, which has been under the process of re-establishment in even in National Education Policy 2020 also. If we go through the civilization wise, the history of science education in India, important time periods are Indus Valley Civilization 7000 BC to 1500 BC, Vedic period, after that up to 400 BC, post Mahajanpads period 400 BC to 200 CE, early Common Era, that is High Middle Ages 200 EE to 1200 CE, late Middle Ages, early modern era and colonial British era. So if we go through this part, the science education system in India starts with these studies, especially architecture, astronomy, cartography, logic and mathematics. Indian scholars made a significant contribution to the various fields of science, from the Indus Valley Civilization to Republic of India. If we go through the Indus Valley Civilization, is a tremendous one. The evidence has been found also the early ancient forms of dentistry, curing tooth related disorders with drills. Modern reconstruction is of this form of dentistry show that these methods are effective and reliable. That is the picture of ancient form of drilling. Indus Valley Civilization is also a better example of agriculture also and activity based learning. Irrigation was developed in this Indus Valley Civilization around 4500 BC, eventually leading to more advanced drainaging and sewage system. If we go through this Indus Valley system, by 2500 BC, the region was dominated by the two cities called Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. It's a vast area, and we found that there was a bricks also. Indus Valley achievements, writing system, especially which is related to Sanskrit, though it is till date it is not readable, but the education system is focused in as such with those evidences. Wheel technology has been established in this era, as we found some evidences also as an antique piece. The mathematical knowledge is also there, because we found some sorts of bricks and stones which are formed and cutted in a ratio of 1/16. So it's a measurement and training is there at that time also, though there is a no formal science education. Bathing system, which is a prime focus and which is a surprise to even archaeologists also, it's a tremendous one. The purification of body and soul, they have prepared great bath tanks and the water transportation mechanism and system in their civilized and disciplined areas of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. They have the training of yoga. Yes, they have training of yoga in their period also. Priest meditated in yoga style has been discovered from there some antique pieces. The world's first university was established in Takshashila in 700 BC, which is also well known to each and everybody. We can feel proud also for that one. Thousands of students from all over the world studied over 60 subjects, including science education. The University of Nalanda, built in 4th century BC, was one of the greatest achievements of ancient India in the field of education, including science education. In Vedic period, the established earlier Indian astronomical text dated back to 1200 BC called Vedanga Jyotira Vidya. This astronomical discovery, especially constellations, generally applied to the social and religious events. The Vedanga Jyotisha details in astronomical calculation, calendrial studies, establishes rules for empirical observation. Even in the prime focusing point is that there was the study of astronomy also. Post Mahajanpad's period, that is between the 400 BC and 200 CE, construction of dam and bridges is the prime focus, which need ultimate engineering and mathematical knowledge and in relationship with science education. Early development of bridges was visible in 4th century. Rock cut step soil were similar to dams that date from 200 to 400 CE. Inventions and discoveries, if we consult, then the first iron pillar was made in India. Now it is in nearby the Qutub Minar also. It's a unique piece. No rusting is there till date. The development of glass ornaments were mastered in by Indian artisans. Indians are the first people to use diamonds and gemstones also. Diamonds are later exported the rest of the globe. Early Common Era, High Middle Age, that is 200 CE to 1200 CE, the single roller cotton gin was invented in India, known as charkhi, and technical term is wooden womb worked roller. In some parts of India, this mechanical device was water powdered. Medical study also there. We know that the Ayurveda and the father of plastic surgery, that is well-known figure of Rishi Sushrut, is the prime focus of our ancient Indian science education system. In early Common Era, Madhav Maharshi, India's physician that wrote the Nidana, 79 chapter book listing diseases along with their causes, symptoms and complications, even the curing system also. He included a special chapter on smallpox and described the method of inoculation to protect against smallpox. Though we know very well the Alexander, but it's the prime focusing point that our rishis also having the knowledge about the microbial infections. In number system, the Arabic number system was invented by the people of India and completed by 9th century. We know our mathematician cum scientist Aryabhatta, on which name ISRO launched its first satellite also. So zero was invented by Aryabhatta, an Indian mathematician, in the later 5th century. Though other cultures had a hand in developing the number system, data and information leading up to the system was completed by the India. Aryabhatta also invented the trigonometric function of sine and versine also. Late Middle Age, if we go through, Madhava and of Sangramagram, the infinite series of pi was first started by him. Kerala School of Astronomy and Mathematics is also there. The Yukti Bhasha is considered the first calculus textbook coming from the school of Kerala that time. So in such a way, when the science education in India establishing itself, that time one dark phase also came around. Late Middle Age, firearms are top to tufak. These weapons are developing since 1366 CE but became known during the late Middle Age. Ever since these types of weapons become a part of war, gunpowder warfare was dominated after this era. This is a picture of hunting with the firearms. If we concern with the colonial British era, early volume of the Encyclopedia Britannica has been created by the native people of India. Postal system is also one of the prime Indian contribution to the world. In colonial British era, Hyder Ali created a rocket system using the metal cylinder and combustion powder. Thus, rockets were not accurate. These rockets were not accurate for single fire attack during warfare, but were very effective for mass attack also. So, rocket technology starts in colonial British era in India only. Major influence of science, India has contributed to many different subjects of science, but the strongest influence that came from the culture was their mathematics. This culture was shaped and formed what math is today by finalizing the number system and creating new types of mathematics like trigonometry and calculus. If we go through some more with the analyze the Vedic period, we came in and conclude. We can get a conclusion that there was a prior information. There was a preliminary information about all the newly discoveries, also such as Big Bang theories in Rig Veda. Vedic astronomy, it is generally held by the historians that the concept of the heliocentric solar system was invented by the ancient Greeks, and that the division of the heavens or sphere into 360 parts and the 12 signs of zodiac were borrowed by the Indians from the Babylonian heliocentric solar system. It is the system which has been elaborated in Upanishads also, where sun is positioned in such a way as they said Madhyasthana, laying in the center. Moonlighted by the sun's light, that concept is also written in various Indian ancient books. It is important to accept the incredible mature of these views because people outside India believes that sun and moon are lighted object placed by God toward the arrangements. Current availability of evidence shows that India was the world leader of science from the earliest time, especially Vedic period, until the 12th century. Bhaskaracharya too was the best mathematician and astronomer world over in the 12th century. By the end of the 12th century, Indian universities at Nalanda, Vikramshila were destroyed by the occupiers in India, and India has to be face the dark age of ignorance. However, some mathematicians and scientists fled to the south, where they continued the flourish as a South and Kerala school of Indian mathematics. It has been found that much of what Newton is credited for and many of the European mathematical discoveries were actually brought to Europe as the translation of the works of the scholars of Kerala school, and also earlier Indian scholars like Bhaskara, Aryabhatta and Brahmagupta. If we go through the Pythagoras theorem, then it is also an Indian invention. Bodhayan wrote the same methodology in his Solva Sutra, which is beyond the time known as Pythagoras theorem. Early mathematics, if we consult, then any mathematics textbook from Vedic time has not survived till today. Yet from the strain mentioned, we are able to arrive at an evidence-based conclusion that the decimal system of numbering, geometry, etc. are present during the Vedic age itself. The textbook written is the prime thing in such periods also for the science education system. Kanad's Vaisheshika Sutra, the only surviving textbook of physics from 6th century BCE, is now also a great pride of India, which has been comprehensive textbook of physics, discusses mechanics, hydraulics, electricity, heat, light, mention magnetism, quantum and atomic and space theories, physical chemistry also. If you go through the sutras, it also depicts that it told one substance changes into another substance and its properties change into another properties. This is a law of conservation of matter and energy, the first law of thermodynamics also, which has also been discussed in our Bhagavad Gita and Upanishad also. If we discovering the Indian past, we find that by the time of British came in power in India, India had lost nearly all memory of its pre-medieval past. Whatever was available comprised only the folklores and some legends contained in the religious text like Purans and Mahabharata only. Thus, in the 19th century, Chandragupta Maurya, Kautilya's and Arthashastra etc. were not also known to anyone. British took the task to unearthing India's ancient past. However, there was resistance from Western minds to accepting any great achievement to the ancient Indians also. The discovering of Indian past, when it became obvious in 20th century that the zero was invented in India, many Eurocentric scholars claimed that the zero had been invented by Greek, from Greek later Omicron. However, when an inscription dating back of 585 AD was found in Gujarat with numeric 0 in it, everyone had to agree. Panini, 600 years before Christ, gave the language theory, which became basis for modern computer language also. It has been renamed as Panini-Backus form. So, the education system of science education system of the earlier age was enriched enough, but it was not been focused due to the occupiers only. Has modern science derived from transmission of from India? Yes. The science has been transmitted to rest of the world, and that's why we are not getting maximum time, we are not getting the credit. The story of Kanada said that he was handling various types of knowledge and books on science, and once upon a time, being with a diplomatic delegate, he reached to the Baghdad area, being an Indian scientist, and he taken with him a large number of Sanskrit books discussing Indian science. He represented the explained them to the rest of the world, but he did not get the credit. That time the most important texts were books of Aryabharta and Brahmagupta also. But due to translation and not given the credit, those knowledge has not been acknowledged by the European countries. And then the phase of dark age comes in India, that is the medieval India. The beginning of the 8th century AD witnessed a large number of Mohammedan invasion. Ghazani is the one of them who invaded the country and established a large number of schools and libraries in his own country by looted wealth. Later on, when the Muslim ruler established permanent empire in India, they introduced a new system of education also. The aim of the education during the Muslim period was the illumination and extension, knowledge and the propagation of Islam. The education of this period was imparted for the propagation of their own principles, laws and social conventions. Education was based on religion, and its aim was make persons who are religious minded. That time education aimed also at the achievements of the material prosperity only. They organized moktabs and madrasas. Primary education was given in moktabs and higher education in madrasas. And the basic thing is to establishing the religious concept apart from the military training. Science and mathematical education did not given priority, encouraging the religious beliefs only, and military education was the considered compulsory in order to establishing supremacy over the other kings and other rulers also. In the maktabs, children are generally people who are given primary education along with religious education. They are also taught reading, writing and arithmetic also. There was also some romantic literature of Persian such as Laila Majnu, etc. in the syllabus of that time. In madrasa, along with the religious object education, practical affairs of life were also be attended. But time changes. Akbar was the empire, and I have to say he was the reformer also. Akbar did a great deal in this direction and tried to give a practical shape also to education. Islamic religion was compulsory taught to all the students, Akbar provided study of Hindu religion and philosophy also in the that time of school. Akbar introduced the study of medicine, story, history, geography, economics, political science, philosophy, astrology, law and mathematics. He made the study of Vedanta and Patanjali compulsory for Sanskrit students. Law in those days was based on religious practices, so the study of religious principle was in the way of law, and that is the ultimate one. Modern education, pre-independence era, education under the East India Company rule. Though the East India Company came in India for exploring business possibilities, but it ultimately thought to establish its own empire in the country, well known to everyone. Towards the achievement of this goal, at first they mingled with the Bengal politics successfully. They obtained the Diwani powers in Bengal and acquires full control over the Nawabs. A madrasa in 1780 at Kolkata and Sanskrit College in 1791 at Benares was established for Muslim and Hindu population. Charles Grant drew and attained the attention of the British public towards the deplorable condition of education system in India. As a result, the Charter of 1813, the British Parliament made the company responsible for education for the Indian people. Basically, they want to establish a community for their own jobs, especially the clerical jobs. There was some progress of education during the period in between 1813 to 1833 in the atmosphere of uncertainty about the definite policy. In 1884-14, the Board of Directors clarified the education policy. The rise of the liberal group in England had its impact on carving out a more liberal policy of education in India. In such a way, when it's organizing, the government of India therefore wanted to take a definite step in the direction of Indian education by framing some comprehensive plan for the purpose. And Wood Dispatch accordingly came in the year of 1854. A committee was formed in 1854 for the study of problem of the education. Charles Wood was the chairman of that, so that the dispatch is famous after his name. The Wood Dispatch contains some major recommendations. The aim of education has been well depicted there. The curriculum was well described, where science education, Arabic science education with other Western literature, English has been recommended also. The medium of instruction was also been given and recommended that along with English, Indian languages should also be accepted by the media of instruction. Department of Public Instruction, University Instruction, Education, importance of graded education also being well described in Wood Dispatch. 4 universities were opened in the country, one each at Lahore, Calcutta, Madras and Bombay at that time. The Indian Education Commission 1882 arrived accordingly. Lord Ripon appointed on 3rd February 1882 the Indian Education Commission under the chairmanship of William Hunter, a member of the Executive Council of Viceroy. The commission is also popularly known as Hunter Commission. The establishing of Indian National Congress in 1985 led the regeneration of the national spirit in the field of education. Maharishi Dayanand Saraswati, Annie Besant, Surendranath Banerjee, Gopal Krishna Gokhale strove hard for all the development of education, including science and technology. And then it comes the Gandhiji's science and education movement, even independence movement also. In 1979, the Calcutta University Commission was appointed. In 1917, the Calcutta University Commission was appointed under the chairmanship of M.E. Sedlar. The commission was appointed for the reform of Calcutta University mainly, but it also acknowledged that the secondary education was accepted as a foundation of university education. So the commission gave a number of suggestions for its improvement also. Development of science education between 1937 to 47, before pre-independence actually. After 1937, the conditions were changed again due to the introduction of the Government of India Act 1935. Due to the introduction, Indian ministries were formed in the various provinces, and central government again started to take active interest in the education affairs. The Central Education Department was known Central Ministry of Education that time. And then after independence, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad was made the first education minister of the Government of India. The interim government took special interest in educational matter, and many new departments and schemes were started. As a result of the University Grant Commission, Central Advisory Board of Education for Education, Central Bureau of Education were established. Gandhiji is also associated with the science and technological education. He also used science in his day-to-day life and encouraged the science education also. According to his views, scientific knowledge requires constant probing into the why and wherefore of every little process that you perform. He also defined science as a science to be the science must afford the fullest scope for satisfying the hunger of body, mind and soul. Development of modern science and science education. If we go through the timeline, what is available with us, then in 495 BC, Bodhayan, the man who discovered pi. 600 BC, Acharya Kanad, who is originator of the atomic theory. 600 BC, Sushrut, father of plastic surgery. 200 BC, Acharya Patanjali, father of yoga. 476 AD, Aryabhatta, the man who gave us zero. 597 AD, Brahmagupta, the man who gave concept of negativity. And with this science educational heritage, we have entered in the independent Indian scenario, where Sir Jagadish Chandra Bose in 1858, founder of wireless communication. 1887, Srinivas Ramanujan, the man who knew infinity. 1888, Sir C.V. Raman, Nobel Prize winner in physics. In 1930, in 1893, Meghnad Shah, astrophysicist who took US us to stars. 1893, again father of statistics in India, Prashant Chandra Mahalanobis. 1894, Satyendranath Bose, the man who taught us how to count light. 1896, Birdman of India, Salim Ali. 1909, Homeo Jahangir Bhabha, pioneer of Indian nuclear research program. 1910, Subramaniam Chandrasekhar, Nobel Prize winner in physics in 1983. 1919, Vikram Sarabhai, father of Indian Space Research Organization and in space program also. 1922, Hargobind Khurana, founder of genetic engineering. 1952, that is Nobel Prize winner in chemistry, Sir Venkatraman Ramakrishnan. If we go through the evolution of the education policies, which is the prime focus today also, after the upcoming adaptation of new education policy, it has been almost started with University Education Commission under Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan in 1948-49, Secondary Education Commission under Lakshman Swami Mudaliar 1952-53, D.S. Kothari Education Commission 1964-66, National Policy on Education 1968, 42nd Constitutional Amendment 1976, Education in concurrent list, Education National Policy on Education NPE 1986, NPE 1986 modified in 1982, Program of Action, Right to Education Act 2009, T.S. Subramaniam Committee Report 27th May 2060 and Dr. K. Kasturirangan Committee Report 31st May 2019. If you go through the basics of the shaping the education policy, now after 34 years after, India also got a democratic way prepared national education policy, which is going to be implemented also. The characteristic of the education policy, if we consult, then we find that the involvement of educationist is the prime focus in education policy in the previous days, such as it was chairmanship under the chairmanship of Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan or Dr. Lakshman Swami Mudaliar. But at the time forwards, the policy makers also thinking that it should be science based, because scientists are too much meritorious and also they have the experience with struggling with the trial and error methods, and they have a lot of experience with the failure phases, so they can implement they can draft a better policy for the education also. That's why after some days, D.S. Kothari, who was the scientist, he's a scientist with specially not with special recognition, but he was a scientist with defense ministry. He has been taken over for the chairmanship, and after that Professor Jashpal was also there. And now whatever the national education policy 2020 came to us, that has been completely designed by, we have to say, Shilpi Dr. K. Kasturiranganji. That is the prime focus. But then also some drawback in science education is there because of such lack of correlation. First of all, NCERT have its Department of Science and Department of Education on Science and Mathematics, but it is not completely scientist oriented. Ministry of Science and Technology is rarely involved with Ministry of Education. Maximum science education projects are run by autonomous organizations under the Ministry of Science and Technology, such as National Council of Science and Technology Communication, National Innovation Foundation, Vigyan Prasar, ISRO, National Council of Science Museum, etc. But they are rarely going to collaborate with, getting opportunity to collaborate with Ministry of Education. Rare coordination between the Department of Science and Ministry of Education. Ministry of Education have no science education or science promotion cell actually. Development of science education in India, the secondary science education, that is Mudaliar Commission recommend so many things as a prior information. And after that, Kothari Commission, as I said, Kothari sir is the first scientist who was involved in making this policy. He is introduced so many things in the policy, and this is the I have to say, this is the first initiative of involving the science education from his basic part in this commission also. Unique feature of the some commission is that all the 5 earlier commission did not deal with education as a whole, but focused attention on different level of education. But this commission was not to limit its inquiry of specific sector or aspects the education, but to have a comprehensive review of an entire educational system. So in such way, it's become an international comparison. It's a Indian emerged with Indian experience. Educationists and scientists of different countries has been included here, one each from Japan, France, UK, USA, SSR, and 20 consultants from different countries also. The recommendations of Kothari education in science education, the basics are work experience to inculcate the value of manual work. The commission recommended the introduction of work experience in the school education, application of science and technology to meet the increasing need of technical personnel in industry, agriculture and trade. The IEC recommended to introduce vocational subject in the school curriculum. Compulsory subject, in the compulsory subject he recommend science, general science and mathematics with work experience. Now if we come to the National Education Policy 2020, the fundamental principles are, it's a holistic development for the students, holistic development in both academic and non-academic phases. It has been designed according to the highest priority, the achievement in achieving the foundational literacy and numeracy by the all student. It also be designed. Its prime focus is to search talent and interest of the learners. No hard separation between arts and science. Multidisciplinarity and the holistic education across the science and social sciences, arts, humanities and sports has been designed in this education policy, and integrity of all knowledge is the prime focus. Emphasize on conceptual understanding, creativity and critical thinking to encourage logical decision making and innovation, ethics and human constitutional value, promoting multilingualism, life skill such as communication, cooperation, teamwork and is the prime focus of this policy. Focus on regular formative assessment, extensive use of technology in teaching and learning has been encouraged, which is the need of time also due to COVID situation. Full equity and inclusion, synergy in curriculum, teacher and faculty as a heart of learning process. Honoring the teacher is the prime focus here also. 5E model has been encouraged here, that is engage, explore, explain, elaborate and evaluate. So overall, this is the prime thing. And another important issue which has been came out with the newer policy, that is hands-on, which hands-on, the previous system of hands-on which practices the science for cognitive development. It comes at the upper level with minds-on, which enculturation of science, motivate development. And now we are thinking about the emotion on saturation of scientific temper to build the hobby development with science among the students. Science communication in this situation is completely online based. There are Zoom, Google Meet, Webex, Microsoft Team, Google Classroom, GeoMeet, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Google Form, etc. So we have to take those benefits also. On behalf of VIPNet Vigyan Prasar, Ministry of Science and Technology, there are so many organizations there. They are encouraging the various type of e-learning, such as quizzing. We have organized, I have got the opportunity to organize Raman National Science Live e-quiz with 1000 students from different states. We are also organizing India International event, Saravai Student Scientist Award, which is a prime thing. As video games are concerned, parents are annoyed with those video games, but if we try to join the emotion with this video game and encourage the students to play such a video game which inspires you, that is the motive of us also. We are going to organizing such thing. You can download the game from our site, and you can prepare a GSLV or PSLV like rocket, and you make an orbit, and further you can land in whatever the solar celestial object you want, such as Venus, Mars, Moon, and you can land there. So in such a way we are motivating the students to become a space scientist. Why we failed with the Bikram at Moon? You can understand better that there is no atmosphere in Moon, but we can land easily in Mars or Venus because there is an atmosphere. We can take the help of umbrella or a parachute. So that is the thing. Initially we can get the knowledge with this such type of video games. To join this program of VIPNet Club, this is the India International Saravai Student Scientist Award. Each and every student can join in that one. Another thing is that we have a habit of drawing. Even we elders also have a habit of drawing. We have enriched that habit. Draw a cartoon based on a scientific theme or mathematical theme. We are saying that science based cartoon, and we are awarding in such a award Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam International Student Scientist Award in inspiration of Dr. Manoj Kumar Tripathi, National Council of Science and Technology Communication. You can go to the site and easily you can submit your drawing. We are also highlighting that puppetry can be used. Puppetry, which is the folk tradition of our India, especially Eastern India, even Rajasthan also. We can disseminate the scientific and mathematical knowledge through puppetry. So we have conducting so many science and mathematical puppetry workshops. And we are going to organize a Sir J.C. Bose International Science Puppetry Film Festival, which is the first time in the world history, on 30th November. You have to build your own puppetry. You have to take design and a drama, docodrama with those puppetry and make a film, and you have to submit in our email sciencepuppetryfest@gmail.com. In such a way we can engage our students and we can enrich our science education and make it a science a habit or a hobby for each and everyone, which is the prime focus of our Pradhan Mantri Narendra Damodar Das Modi ji. He said education has a key role in the making of Atmanirbhar, modern, new and prosperous India. So we have brought the new education policy after 3 decades that has been welcomed throughout the country. Not only country, I have to include with that one, which has been appreciated internationally also. All the international policy makers are now searching what is the basic design of this policy. So that is the main thing of our achievements. Jai Vigyan, Jai Hind. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So thank you, sir. It's a very nice presentation, sir. It's an excellent presentation. It's an inspiring presentation, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank
You
you.
are giving clarification for each and every educational policy, sir. Which you are come through all over our, in India, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
if
sir. Thank
participants
you.
have any doubts and clarification, you can unmute your microphone and ask the question to sir.
I think I have taken all the time of the viewers also.
No, it's an excellent presentation, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir.
Yes.
Is there any similarity in our Gurukul system and today's NEP 2020?
Yeah, that is a thing we have to be. I think the basic of the education, that is what is the education. I think if I have to ask what is education, this is the journey. This is journey of conquering our enmity and develop our humanity and magnanimity. And if it can be happened, we can gather accurate education, we can gain in ourselves the divinity also. So this is the process, and the activity based learning is the prime focus in education policy, which has been designed by Dr. Kosturi Rangan sir. If we go through the Gurukul system, this is a residential and activity based system actually. Though basically the Gurukul system, there is a scrutinization also in admission, who will can take the, because there was a caste system also. Now we are beyond the caste system. So as far as it is concerned with the learning methodology, then I have to say that it is almost similar, and that should be acquired also. The Gurukul system is the should be the focusing point of our national education policy also. You may agree also.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Mr. Okay, sir. We have formal vote of thanks, sir.
Yes.
Yes. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose vote of thanks on this occasion. First and foremost, I thank our Secretary, sir, Dr. Engineer G. Rajasekharan, sir, and Dr. G. Balakrishnan, sir, for their words of encouragement, kindness, and their continued support for conducting consecutive webinars. I thank our resource person, Anjan Banking Director, National Council of Future Scientists, in spite of his busy schedule, who has given a very nice and great presentation. It's a very valuable presentation. Thank you very much for sharing your knowledge, sir. It's our privilege to watch this webinar session, sir. I thank our well-wishers, Dr. M. Anushya, registered international institution, for her support of vision and commitment. My heartfelt thanks to all the institution principals and the faculty members for their valuable contributions, guidance, and encouragement in all these efforts. And I thank all the people who have participated, overwhelming, and make the event a successful one. Finally, I would like to thank the students and technical staff who have supported our work to ensure the webinar become a memorable one. Thank you, one and all, for our connected work here. Thank you very much for your kind support. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. We can close our session, sir.
செஷன் க்ளோஸ்னு சொல்லிட்டாங்க. நம்மளே ரிமூவ் பண்ணி விட்டுறாங்க.